The conflict surrounding the United States Championship has reached a fever pitch, charged with personal rivalries, dangerous alliances, and the fierce ambition that fuels every WWE superstar who steps into the ring. This saga, explosive in its energy and brutal in its intensity, is centered on a simple, perhaps even innocent, challenge that quickly spiraled into chaos. When Jacob Fatu stood in the ring and looked straight into the eyes of Solo Sikoa, it was more than just a confrontation. It was a declaration of war. Fatu, a man known for his aggression and his refusal to back down, voiced what many had been thinking. Maybe the problem isn't just personal animosity, but the presence of that one gleaming title, the United States Championship. And in the spirit of every warrior who came before him, he issued a challenge, raw and unfiltered, to fight for the honor of holding that championship. With his words echoing through the arena, Fatu made it clear that he wasn't here to play games. He wasn't about to engage in drawn-out negotiations or backdoor politics. He challenged Solo Sikoa directly. If the title was the issue, if this was the root of the tension, then there was only one way to settle it: man to man in the ring. Fatu didn't mince words. His message was simple: fight me for it. No backstage plots, no sneak attacks, just an open challenge under the bright lights, where the world could watch. But knowing Solo Sikoa, there was little chance that things would be resolved so cleanly. Fatu didn't just challenge him for the title, he issued a warning. A one-time warning, spoken with all the authority and menace of someone who has fought on the streets and in the ring. He told Solo that if he even thought about trying something underhanded, if he even dared to come for him in the wrong way, there would be consequences. Dire consequences. Fatu reminded Solo exactly who he was dealing with. This wasn't some green rookie looking to make a name off Sikoa. This was Jacob Fatu, explosive, unpredictable, and relentless. All gas, no brakes. And if Solo underestimated that for even a second, he'd find himself at the wrong end of a brutal reality. As tensions escalated and tempers flared, the action exploded into violence. Solo, predictably, didn't take kindly to the direct challenge or the warning. Instead of responding with words, he responded with fists. But Fatu, never one to shy away from a brawl, met him head-on. Solo attempted to land his trademark Samoan spike, but Fatu, always alert, saw it coming. He denied the strike with a swift, jarring block, followed immediately by a devastating headbutt that staggered Solo. The ring became a war zone. Out of nowhere, Mateo emerged, rushing in to aid Solo Sikoa. The ambush was sudden and vicious. Mateo went straight for Fatu's legs, chopping him down with a ruthless clip to the knee. The double-team assault was brutal and calculated. Two men working in perfect sync to dismantle a single powerhouse. The crowd roared in protest, but this was WWE. No one was coming to save Fatu. Or so it seemed. As Fatu was being taken apart piece by piece, the camera cut to the entrance ramp, and the arena erupted. Jimmy Uso, Solo's own brother, was on his way down. No hesitation, no posturing. He was headed straight towards Solo. The audience, long familiar with the family history, could feel the emotional weight of the moment. Months and months of betrayal, miscommunication, and pent-up rage had all led to this flashpoint. Jimmy made his way into the ring and delivered a crushing superkick that sent shockwaves through the building. It was a message louder than any promo or press conference. The family was fractured, and Jimmy had chosen his side. For a moment, it looked like he might turn the tide. But the numbers game, as always, told a different story. Fatu was down in the corner, reeling from the earlier attack, and Jimmy found himself facing two opponents with no backup. Mateo and Solo wasted no time, unleashing a barrage of attacks that left Jimmy on the defensive. The valiant effort was there, but 2-on-1 was a steep hill to climb. Just when things seemed most hopeless, Jacob Fatu proved why he's one of the most dangerous forces in the business. From the corner, seemingly lifeless, he surged to his feet like a man possessed. The brutality he had endured hadn't broken him, it had only fueled his rage. With a thunderous roar and fire in his eyes, he re-entered the fight. Solo barely had time to react before Fatu leveled him with a devastating strike. The carnage was instant. Bodies flew, momentum shifted, and the ring once again became Jacob Fatu's battlefield. One opportunity, that's all he needed. That single opening allowed Fatu to do what he does best: create chaos and dominate. The crowd, stunned by the sheer velocity of the reversal, watched as Fatu turned the entire tide of the conflict in a matter of seconds. He showed no mercy, no hesitation. He wasn't there to fight fair. He was there to win, to survive, and to take everything from the man who dared to stand in his way. The culmination came in the form of a massive hip attack, delivered with all the weight and fury that Fatu could muster, crashing straight into Solo Sikoa. The message couldn't have been clearer. Jacob Fatu was not just a threat. He was a storm, and Solo had just felt the eye of it. This entire sequence of events encapsulates everything that makes professional wrestling so electrifying. The drama, the intensity, the high-stakes brawls, each element layered with deep personal rivalries and fueled by ambition. The United States Championship may have been the spark, but the fire has now become something far greater. It's a war for dominance, for legacy, for pride. And as this war unfolds, we're seeing battle lines drawn and blurred all at once. Mateo's sudden involvement adds a new dimension, suggesting perhaps an alliance or deeper story yet to fully develop. Jimmy Uso's presence and sudden retaliation against his own brother reveals the true extent of the cracks within the once unbreakable bloodline. These aren't just matches, they're personal, generational sagas filled with betrayal, redemption, and violence. Jacob Fatu, having laid down the gauntlet with authority, stands now as not only a challenger to the U.S. title, but a symbolic force, a walking statement that titles don't make men, men make titles. And if Solo Sikoa wants to keep that title, if he wants to prove that he's still the force everyone thinks he is, he's going to have to go through fire. Not just in the ring, but within his own bloodline, within the family that now seems on the verge of collapse. As fans look ahead to what happens next, speculation is running wild. Will Solo respond to the challenge with honor, or will he continue down the path of sneak attacks and alliances of convenience? Will Mateo's involvement grow into something larger, a faction perhaps forming in the shadows? And what about Jimmy Uso? Will he remain a lone wolf fighting against the tide of his own blood, or will he and Fatu find common cause against the enemies they now share? This isn't just about one title. This is about identity, power, and pride. And in the WWE, those are the things people are most willing to bleed for. As the story continues to unravel, one thing is for certain: Jacob Fatu's rise is far from over. He's not waiting in the wings. He's front and center, forcing everyone to react to his pace, his violence, and his vision for what this war will become. And Solo Sikoa, if he truly wants to hold on to what he's got, will have to dig deeper than ever before.